Tonight we have the pleasure of welcoming Alan G. Alan is the author of the essay collection, My Chinese America. His essay, Old School, was included in the most recent Pushcart Prize anthology. Alan has recently completed a novel, The Laborers, and is at work on a biography of James Alan McPherson titled At Little Monticello. G's work has appeared in Ploughshares, The Common, Lumina, Crab Orchard Review, Terrain, and elsewhere. He taught at the MFA program at Georgia College for 14 years and is now the D.L. Jordan Endowed Professor of Creative Writing at Columbus University. Alan, I am so very happy and so very grateful to you for joining us.
I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you. I'm going to start by reading a short piece that's a little humorous and it's, I think, in the vein of David Sedaris, just to be light since things have been heavy this year. It's 2 pages, A Natural and Unnatural History of My Nose. In 1973, I was playing second base in a softball game when a batter hit a hard line drive. As the runner on first base shot past me, the windbreaker that was loosely strung around her neck unfurled like a cape, and at that exact moment, the windbreaker masked the path of the softball, which headed straight towards me. Once the fluttering aquamarine nylon cape of the windbreaker glided by, the ball struck me head on, as fiercely as a hammer strike, shattering the bridge of my nose. I lay there like a knocked out boxer. Someone in my 5th grade class shouted for my girlfriend, Donna, as if she were Florence Nightingale, as if she could save me right then and magically nurse me back to health. I ended up at the hospital where a plastic surgeon packed both of my nostrils with gauze. Then he fashioned a nose cast, a splint that extended from my forehead to my mouth. He attached the splint to my face with 2 wide white strips of tape that formed a giant X. When I returned to school, of all people, the principal tried to make light of my injury, saying, "Hey, you look like Pinocchio." When all the soaked packing was removed from my nostrils with tweezers, and when the splint was taken off, my nose was not the same. My nostrils flared more, tilting upward. The bridge had lost its prominence, so I thought my nose looked flattened. And beneath the bruised and purplish skin, there was a lump where the fracture had occurred, a protrusion like a small knot, invisible to the world at large, but that I have forever felt, there to remind me of when my youthful physical invulnerability was lost. Yes, I had a flat nose now, I was sure of it. And in traditional Cantonese culture, differences of appearance were called out, acknowledged publicly with bluntness. You could be greeted with, "Hey, hook nose, how are you?" Or "Long nose, we've missed you. Let's have lunch soon." But as a Chinese American, I was overly sensitive, feeling as if I had lost a nose that was distinguished, that was more Americanized. So now I thought everyone, and especially girls, would see me as far more unattractive. But over the years, if I spoke of the injury, girls and women actually consoled me, telling me they thought my nose was cute. If I asked during flirtatious or intimate moments, they could find the knot. One woman, when I was in college, touched where the break had been with the tip of her right index finger, confirming, "Yes, you broke it, but you can't tell by looking at you." I would have never guessed. And then she kissed me passionately afterwards as if affection was a salve, and I believed every word she said. So loss could mean gain. My nose taught me well in advance of growing old about the foolishness of vanity, about how dwelling upon being handsome or beautiful can be a frivolous waste of time. My wife is a woman who never knew my nose had been broken while we dated, and who has since said she would have never guessed. Indeed, now the gray hair that my 50s brought seems far less consequential, and the loss of my running speed on the track or a basketball court feels far less tragic. I haven't really cared that the skin on the back of my hands has wrinkled. It's been all right that if who I am doesn't forever stay the same. What if I had the opportunity to go back in time, though? Would I want to avoid the accident so that my change of appearance never happened? My wife and I moved to Georgia some 16 years ago to rural Milledgeville, where the humid air and the pollen from different trees, shrubs, and flowers gave rise to allergic reactions. I began to suffer from frequent sinus infections and started feeling like I might become an antibiotics junkie. My general practitioner referred me to a nasal specialist in Atlanta who scheduled me for an MRI. You have a deviated septum, the specialist told me. We need to perform a rhinoplasty and widen your nasal passages. I asked if the repair to my nose so many years ago in 5th grade had been done properly. Not from what I can see, the specialist said. If you want, we can consult with another doctor here and schedule a nose job too. Would you like that? I dwelled upon this option, like a philosopher contemplating the existence of a singular truth. But after all that time, after over 30 years, I told the specialist no. I felt that I'd grown used to the nose that I have. So after the successful rhinoplasty that widened and straightened my nasal passages, my flat nose and I carried on. But I had a small amount of doubt. Should I have gone for the restoration, treating my nose like a barn find muscle car? Could I suddenly see how it was supposed to have looked? At some point, though, I read that the nose is one of the few parts of the body that keeps growing in old age, advancing slowly but steadily, lengthening millimeter by millimeter like a snail's forward progress, as if to remind me again that we're really not supposed to stay the same anyway.